Hello and welcome to Tabletop 24. I'm Alan.
I'm John.
I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be giving you our preview for Airecon 2023. So, for those of you that don't know, Airecon is held between the 9th and the 12th of March in the Harrogate Convention Centre, which is just north of Leeds. It will be running from the Thursday through to the Sunday, opening at 4 o'clock on the Thursday, and running till late on the Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and closing at 6 o'clock on the Sunday. So a lot of time for an event this in March. So main theme of the day, the days will be open gaming, and the focus of Airecon is about playing and the people that you're playing the games with, rather than potentially purchasing and stalls. Whilst that's all there, there's events and everything on there. It's really focused on the play and the activity. Word on tickets, they're available online. The link will be below. They've had to release more tickets for the Thursday night because it's the first time that we're doing proper Thursday nights. So that's a good sign. It's going to be busier. It's going to be bigger. We're in bigger halls. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I think that the key thing there is it's bigger this year. So they've moved from one end of the convention centre to the other, opened it up so there's more space for more people to play more games.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it worked something like nearly 44 hours of open play across the 4 days.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Our average, it's going to be lots of time to do gaming.
Yeah, and if you're going for the Iron Man version of it, you've obviously got 1:30 finish on
1:30 finishes, yeah.
On Saturday night.
Yeah, last year that hall upstairs, when we left at about 11:30, 12 o'clock, it was absolutely humming, full of people buzzing, playing games. It was, shocked and also gladdened by the amount of activity and industry going on in there and playing games. It was almost electric.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, and you don't need to bring your own games with you. There's a big library, the game system that bringing by.
Yeah.
And the
Travelling Man.
Travelling Man. That's
So Travelling Man sponsors the library and provides the library. There's over 700 games in that. We found that last year you might not necessarily get the game that you want that's in the library, but so keep going back.
If they're popular, they'll be out quite a lot, won't they?
Yeah, I think I'm giving away our secret now. I think there's going to be a copy of Heat in that library, which I can imagine.
Don't tell people.
Which is not going to probably be back on the shelf very often. So there'll be games that will come and go. But what I will say on that is don't sleep on other things, because we picked up a few things that we probably wouldn't normally play.
Yeah.
Take a punt. If there's titles that none of your game group have got or you want to try, just grab it off. If it's there, grab it. Don't limit yourself. Just, the experience is to try new things. And it's a massive, really good, well-organised library.
It's very good.
It was always busy when we were there last year. Always busy.
There's always one or two people picking something up. And there's a £10 deposit, which is refundable on the Sunday. You can take games out overnight on the Friday and the Saturday, as long as they're back on the Sunday. So I think it's really sort of worthwhile. And as Brian mentioned, they're all available on the game system. So the game system is an online portal where you can check out what's going on in the library, what games are in the library. You can see the bring and buy, which we'll mention a bit more about in a second. And you can also see some games that people will have set up to say, look, I've got X amount of available spots, and really communicate. I think they've done some work on the app this year to help communication between players through the app, rather than trying to find people on Facebook.
So that goes live on 27th?
I think it's going to be live on the 27th of February, so a couple of weeks beforehand. Obviously, they want to make sure they've got everything in for the library.
Beyond the website link below will be more details of it. Absolutely. One of the things I'll say, though, is we found everybody took loads of games up with us to play last year, and because of the library and because of just... We had a boot full of games we didn't play.
Yeah. So you'll see here, we've got 3 games. Now I'm going to put in a still from our preview last year of all the games that we intended to play.
And what we played.
And what we played out of them.
What we played.
Which, was a bit of... And obviously, actually, one of these I picked up there as well. So the word on that is you don't have to bring your whole collection. Now, there are games that people will bring. Twilight Imperium, Zaya.
Yeah.
Some of the games you can't easily get to the table in a 2-hour session.
No, there'll be big games there that people want to play.
Stuff like Splotter games, so there's the Food Chain Magnate, Horse Carriage, that sort of thing. That's not going to be, like you say, a short game. It's going to be a bit longer, and you need probably more people to play it. Also, you'll see some of the larger social deduction games. So, I think the moral of our story was we didn't need to take as much, because you're going to purchase stuff, more or less. Most people will. The library's fantastic. other people have got games that
people
they
have
might
games.
have spot stand.
There's also the exhibitors have games to trial and play, and they're happy to learn their games. We played quite a few of their games last year.
Yeah, and after breaking our backs carrying the games into the venue, I think we're definitely going to be cutting back on the volume that we take.
We almost over-planned it, thinking, we can play all this and we'll take it with us. And in the end, it was just like, maybe not. But, by all means, just enjoy yourself when you get there. It's all about, like we say, it's all about playing the games.
Just find a table.
Yeah.
Set out.
Yeah, it as opposed to UKGE, where it's about the exhibitors and the halls and maybe a sell-in more environment. This is all a convivial gaming environment for lots of people to play games.
And it's really good for families as well.
Yeah.
So you've got the Imagination Gaming. They're going to be running some events for youngsters and family gaming. It's really inclusive as a venue. We mentioned before, I think. There's areas for quiet gaming. And it's just going to be a really nice place to go and take the family.
There's stickers for players to say how approachable you want people to be towards you.
Yeah.
So it's really sort of, you can take from this gaming event what you want, and actually, if you might be a bit quieter and you want to sort of approach people rather than be approached, that's all facilitated for you, or vice versa. If you want to be the host, then that's facilitated for you. So every type of game is covered, and I think that's really, really good. And like I say, it's the focus is the games.
Yeah, I mean, last year, friends were made, and just outside of a group, you get to know more people. You get to know the bigger community, and it's lovely for that. And a part of that, big shout out, it goes to the volunteers and the people actually helping run it. They do a magnificent job of just being there for questions, helping people out, advice, all that kind of thing through the days. They're absolutely brilliant. So well done to them, and thank you in advance.
So talking about the exhibitors, I mean, they're obviously there to show their stuff, but they're also quite keen to hear and talk to people directly as well and get some feedback. And they're really friendly.
So last year they had demos of Moon, didn't they?
Yeah, so the fish I've made.
Yeah, new games coming out. They want your feedback. Go and talk to them. What you think of them. If you don't like a game, you can let them know. If you love a game, you can let them know equally.
And people there on the Kickstarters that they're trying to put off the ground. So
play testing. There's a big play testing.
Yeah, so Playtest UK will be there with the playtesters, and I say that you've got exhibitors from small developers and designers up to sort of larger publisher houses. Obviously, we caught up with Kagito, Ergo Meeple. I backed Solo 175 after seeing them.
I did as well.
The event. So, but you were also Moon as well was previewed there from Sinister Fish, and there's some smaller games, and obviously a big shout out as we always do to stuff by Bez. Bez is going to be there as well, running a few events and stuff. So
got to love a Bez game.
Yeah, got to love a Bez game. So there are other events and stuff going on. So we've got the RPG Zone. Which
bring your dice or buy some.
Buy some dice. There's plenty of people that sell really good dice there, actually.
Yeah, so there'll be about 30 events a day running across multiple time slots, and these are all bookable in advance through the game system. So get on there, and obviously on the website as well. So get on there. They cover loads of different systems, different settings, and different difficulty levels. I've seen a couple of introductory Pathfinder. I'm sure there's some introductory D&D and stuff on there. So it's not really my bag personally, but
I love a role-playing game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll get to any this year because I'm going to have a load of games to play. But yeah, I never know. I might pop along if I've not got anything on.
I'll see what's running.
Yeah. It's always worth just checking out and going and see. And that's one of the beauty things. You can just walk around the tables and peer over people's shoulders, see what game they're playing. Oh, what's that? I like the look of that. Or what you're playing there, and just listen in to the conversation and what they're doing. I mean, smartphoning got a lot of people looking at us and what game is that? And that's the good thing about it, because you're like, I haven't seen that before. What's that? I'll maybe try that out. Oh, look at that in the library. I'll have a blend. And it's
a big on the community side of it. So if you want to be a bit more competitive, there's a couple of tournaments taking place. So Crocodile, Flask, Unmatched this year.
King
Tokyo. So there's a few sort of tournament based stuff there. So you want to be a bit more competitive. And then there's the events that are being run. So Watch It Played are going to be there. They're running a couple of sort of events that are going to be happening.
Say hello to Rodney.
Yeah. And we've got Ivan Brett doing well, so he's a contestant on
loads more
Traitors.
Stuff. Look at the website.
Yeah,
I think there's
pick up there. One of the things on there is a charity raffle. So this was big last year. To the point where they actually had to run out and find more raffle tickets. Find more raffle tickets.
Wasn't it? They run out just before you.
Just before I was being served, I was like literally 2 people to be served. So recommend getting in there. It's done slightly different to any other raffle that I've ever seen, whereby they're going to get a lot of donations from a lot of publishers and people that are around the industry that are going to help support the charitable causes, and they break them down into lots. I think last year there was 8 tables. And it will depend on what they get. And you buy your tickets and you put your ticket in a bucket correlating to what you like on that table. And if you win, you win the whole table, which is fantastic. It also means it's over and done with fairly quickly as well.
Yeah. There was a big queue for raffle tickets last year, a big queue, because the prizes were phenomenal. You were literally taking a table stacked with games away if you won. Absolutely brilliant, really good. That completely forgot about those stacked tables actually.
So one thing that we did glance over a little bit earlier was the bring and buy, and so check that on the game system. You can pre-check in all your games. I think it's one of the best bring and buys that I've ever seen run.
Sure.
You'll check everything in. It's fairly well organised once you get there. All the games are up there. You can also check out the games that are in the bring and buy. So you don't even have to go and queue up. Now, obviously, if people are queuing and they pick up the game that you wanted, tough. But also, you can kind of scout if there's that obscure game that you're not quite sure of or stuff like that. Yes, there'll be multiple copies of X, Y, or Z. And it also lists the price that they're on for as well.
The main thing to keep in mind about the bring and buy is it's cash only. Make sure you look in advance before you get there, see what kind of you want to spend, and bring that in cash, because that's the way they pay out at the end of the end of the session, basically.
Yeah, I sold some. I bought some. It was good.
The same. I sold some. I bought some with the proceeds.
And it's almost like a trade in that sense.
Yeah, I've got a shelf over there that's got some stuff that's going to be going up to it. So which is probably the fallout from our Pearl video. So they're finally going to be making their way.
There was a charity sale table last year raising funds for Ukraine. I think I bought 2 copies of Arboretum. I kept one for myself and I put the other one back on the table to sell it to make more money for the charity.
Yeah,
I think they made a fair amount.
It was over $8,000, I think.
Yeah, fair amount last year. So hopefully they will be doing similar this year. So well done for the community for supporting that. It goes a long way, really.
It massively does. I can't believe we've left it this late to talk about this, but food.
Yes, the food.
So there's
you won't get hungry.
No, you won't go hungry. So there's the tuck shop that's run by Airecon itself, which offers a load of different snacks and a variety of stuff. A reasonable price as well for a venue. There's water fountains throughout. There is a couple of cafes that will be offering drinks. Air cups, if you've picked up one of those, you get cheaper refills on your hot drinks. And then the outside food area that was there.
It was fantastic. I think between us we sampled all the delights. Yes. But there's pizzas, there's Greek, there's noodles, there's poutine. It was absolutely fantastic. Slow cooked meats. There's vegan.
A lot of vegan and vegetarian.
It catered for everybody. It was absolutely fantastic. It really was. And you didn't see anybody leaving any food or complaining.
No.
And I'll say one thing about the whole event in its entirety. It was all so positive. It was all, we're here to game, we're here to enjoy ourselves, and everybody went in with that same mindset. And you could feel the positivity.
The atmosphere was just wonderful, wasn't it? It was very welcoming. We're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
And it was just a pleasure to be there, really.
And if you don't want to be stuck in a hall full of gamers for 4 days, there are a couple of things that are going on outside. So there are air events, which check them out, which is going to involve a park run. There's some warm-up games prior to the actual event itself. There's a meet and greet, and I think there's a Brew York beer tasting that's going on in there. And then we can't really forget Harrogate. I mean, we didn't see any of it last year. Well, that's a bit of a lie, but not much of it.
No, if we haven't sold the whole event for you and going to make you stay for 4 days and play games, if you want to go and see Harrogate, do.
Harrogate's beautiful.
It's a lovely place. Just driving through, I think we drove in and it was like, oh, this is Big
Some
park.
great parks, architecture's amazing, the shops are good.
It looked lovely.
So, enjoy.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go to these sort of the conventions or bigger events like that, you kind of driving through industrial areas or I mean, let's say the NEC. I mean, that is just the NEC, isn't it? But yeah, it's really nice surrounding area, and Harrogate's quite nice. We did have a bit of a wander. We're going to try and do a little bit more.
Yeah, Betty's Tea Room is well known for their Fat Rascals and other cakes and stuff. So, just to please the other halves at home, we bought cakes home.
Yeah. And if we haven't done enough to sell you on that, we've been lucky enough again to take some time out of Mark Cook's diary, who's one of the directors of Airecon. So we're just going to hear from him now and get his take on what the event's going to be all about. So welcome back, Mark. Thank you for joining us yet again. Obviously, we're in the middle of just doing our preview for Airecon and what me and the guys are looking forward to, but we wanted to get an insider's perspective, if you will. So obviously, for those that don't know, Mark is one of the directors for Airecon, and obviously he knows more about it than anybody else, being one of the founders. So what are we looking forward to this year in particular?
Me, probably Sunday evening when I get to go to bed. No, not really. Plenty of stuff going on. Obviously, open gaming is what we're known for. And we have opened up some extra space and some extra time, especially on the Thursday. So the Thursday is new. So you'll be able to get in and game from 4:00 on the Thursday. We've got late night gaming on the Saturday, so you can game all day long. If you've pre-bought your tickets, you can get in half an hour early as well, so rush in and claim the best tables. But Saturday is the big, obviously you can game from, if you've got those advanced tickets, you can get in from 9:30 in the morning and game until 1:30 in the morning if you really want to.
So I think I worked out we've got about 44 hours of actual game time if you wanted to go, like start to finish. So.
Yes, I saw someone was planning a game of something epic, and they could only just about fit in still on the Europa Universalis, I think. By the time I'd done a rule teach and all of that. But yeah, so lots of gaming going on. We're adding a bunch of new games to the library as well, including a copy of Heat, which I would imagine people will be just hanging around waiting for someone to bring it back each time. Yeah, we tried to get a couple more copies, but it's always a bit hard.
We pretty much shouted that out, and we said, obviously, I think there's a copy of Heat going to the library, and John was like, don't tell people. So we'll have had that earlier in the video. So, so the library's always a big thing as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And it's actually, here you go, it's an interesting fact, maybe. It's my copy of Heat that I bought for myself.
Personal, and then, special.
It was so short, we couldn't even get it through Travelling Man. It was so short of stock, so I put my copy in, and then I'll just get myself another one later, further down the line. Yeah. But it's an excellent game, really good. Lots of other stuff going on. Obviously, like exhibitor list is all up there. Got a load of returning exhibitors who have been, some of them, I mean, Bez has been with us since the first time we had exhibitors. So the first public event we didn't have exhibitors, but she came to the one after that and has been coming every year, but it might be her last one, which is sad because she's emigrating away. And people like Yay Games that have been around since the early days, Medusa, lots of people like that. We'll have some new people coming along, Hachette, they were there last year, sorry. But Hachette have got a big stand, I've been told to go and look at it because they've got pillars or something, I'm not sure. We'll have a look at that. I think else, Cosmos are coming for the first time, and they've said they're bringing some new stuff. Loads of stuff, loads of exciting stuff to go and see in the exhibit hall. We have got our charity raffle is always a highlight, and we've got some mega donations from that, including a copy of Frosthaven, which is pretty exciting. So that'll be, I think that's the Saturday, sort of early evening, pre-evening, as we like to call it.
Now the question is, do we have enough raffle tickets this year?
We will have enough raffle tickets this year, yeah. We did run out surprisingly quickly last year, but what we've also done is, because everyone always kind of rounds it up to a £5 anyway, we've actually made the tickets £1 rather than 50p, so hopefully they'll go a bit longer as well. Yeah. What else have we got going on? The quiz. I always really look forward to the quiz because that's something I do, and even the rest of the team don't get to see the questions, so they can have a bit of an evening and play the quiz. So it's all me. We've got some interesting rounds coming this year, including a hotly debated AI art round where I've kind of put in game names, and you're going to have to guess what game did I put in to get the results that I got. So.
Very interesting. No, the pub quiz was something we tried to get to last year and we just couldn't get to it. I think last year we travelled up, so we're in the Midlands. We travelled up on this Friday morning. So I think by the time we get into 7-8 o'clock Friday night, we were starting to flag a little bit. We weren't doing that great. So, but we're coming up on the Thursday this time. So hopefully we can get along to that.
Good stuff. And obviously we've got Watch Played. The whole team are coming over again. They're running a bunch of events. They're doing their what's it called? With the throwing of the dice. It's completely gone up my head. Where you throw the dice into an arena and it's got a name. Strike.
There we are.
Wow.
You're not going to live that one down now, are you?
I know, yeah. Well, especially as I just took delivery about 10 more copies of it the other day, especially for the tournament. Yes, so you have Strike going on. They're doing mega games of Green Team wins, and we've got mega game of Sagrada, which should be good fun. Just finalising how we're actually going to do the rules for it, but we think we've got a pretty cool way of doing it, so everyone can all play the same game at once. Lots of stuff.
I know. There's so much there that it's just indescribable, but I think it's going to be really, really good. And we mentioned before about growth and not wanting to potentially grow massively, but still holding on to that, but having to release more tickets for the Thursday. So it's the first time we were doing the Thursday, so we didn't really know what to expect. So we kind of just took. So for most of the convention, we've got 4 halls, but for the Thursday we just had the one because obviously there's extra resources in having to staff it, and on the convention centre side of things, higher costs and things like that for when you've got it open. But we figured as most people will just be there to game on Thursday. We didn't want to overload the seating, so we did run out of tickets. Thankfully, we've been able to open a second hall for the Thursday evening. That was Hall B, that also houses the demo zone, the board game library, the game seekers area, the tuck shop, and the merch, and the library, and all of that good stuff. So that will all also be open now on Thursday as well. So there's so you can, if you get there on Thursday and get in early, you can get that heat and just there we go.
Hang on to it for the whole weekend.
I'll be queuing at the door.
Anyone else play it?
If I see somebody holding that for more than one game, I'm taking their kneecaps out. I tell you.
Yeah. If you really love it, there's someone in we have a Airecon community Facebook group. Someone is organising. They've made a massive fan-made map of the Nürburgring, and they're doing a big game of that with, I think they said 18 players or something. A massive amount of players all able to play it at once, which I think will be a few hours of invested time in that, but it looks good.
Yeah, I have seen the map for that, and I think it's something like 4 or 5 times the size of the normal maps, isn't it? So
it's huge.
It looks quite impressive.
Yeah.
So we're obviously looking forward to that, and one thing I'm looking forward to is that Thursday night where we can get some games in, because that's going to be rare. Well, obviously we're going to be catching up with everybody. Obviously we probably won't get any of your time over that weekend because you will be inundated with things, but we're really looking forward to the event. So thanks for popping along and telling us what you were looking forward to. So
no worries.
Okay, and thank you for Mark there with his words. I think it's great. He's obviously been supportive of the stuff that we've been doing, which has been fantastic. And thanks to all the Airecon team.
Yeah.
If you haven't done so already, check out the videos on the channel. We will have stuff going live after the event itself, where we've caught up with different people and trying to get a few bits out from there. We'll get our thoughts as well when we get back. So hopefully we'll see you there. Pop along, say hi if you do see us.
Please do.
And we'll catch you next time. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.